The police showed up at my parents' house on charges I had no idea about.
She is suspected of assault and battery.
Is what the officer was saying. Wait, what? It had been over 10 years since I got married and left the house. I divorced my first husband in about a year. A few years later, I was remarried and lived one prefecture over. The police apparently showed up at my parents' house because the old house I lived in was empty.
Where's your daughter?
My mom, brother, his wife, and my niece were all confused. My mom said that I was married and lived in a prefecture nearby, and the police contacted local police in my area to come to my door. We had come home around the same time that the police had shown up at our door, then suddenly asked me to go to the station with them, so I was surprised. I have no idea what's going on. What are you talking about?
Actually,
This is what he explained. I had divorced my husband because he cheated, but the woman he cheated with was hit in the head by someone, and she apparently saw me, running away, so the police showed up at my house. When did that happen?
it's suspected to have occurred around 4 p.m.
My husband and I looked at each other.
We were watching soccer in Hiroshima at the time.
Exactly. It was definitely the woman lying through her teeth.
Do you have any proof of that?
My husband was slightly irritated from the police officer's attitude.
It was a pretty good seat, so I'm pretty sure we were broadcast on live TV. Yeah, but that's not definite proof.
Wow, what an ass. I was starting to get irritated as well, so I glared at the fat middle-aged officer. My husband wasn't the only one. I had many friends around too, and I'm sure they'll be happy to corroborate my story.
But they're your friends, so they will lie to cover for you.
You could tell he was trying to force me to go without forcing me to go. You don't trust my husband or my friends?
That's not what I'm saying. I just want to talk to you at the station. If you can't come, I'm going to take this as destruction of evidence or evading the police.
He grinned at me, almost as if to intentionally rub me the wrong way. He thinks he knows that I'm the one that did it. I was so mad that I felt like punching him in the face, but then someone tapped me on the shoulder. When I turned around, I saw my uncle who lived in our neighborhood. Apparently, my husband had gone to ask for help.
Oh, come on. She doesn't need to go, right? It's not like you have a warrant or anything. You can't force her to go.
He kept his hand on my shoulder and smiled at the officer. The officer briefly contorted his face before smiling again, and once again being passive-aggressive.
Yeah, of course it's not being forced. But this is definitely the suspect. I think it's just easier for everyone if she comes with us. I see. I think I understand.
My uncle smiled back and crossed his arms.
Police Duties Execution Act, Chapter 2, Article 3. Pardon?
The police officer was suddenly confused.
You do not need to comply with an officer who is forcing you to be detained or otherwise taken against your will. You may also decline any form of questioning. If you're going to break this, I will definitely have to call you out for breaking the law.
The officer was just spewing nonsense after my uncle had just served him straight. My husband and I were both just staring quietly at him.
Who are you? You talk like you're a lawyer or something! I'm an officer of the law!
The officer finally revealed his true self and was ready to throw down with fists brought up.
Ah, you're not a complete moron. You're right. I am a lawyer.
My uncle had flipped his sleeve and shown that he had the badge of a lawyer.
She says she has an alibi. How about you go confirm the validity of that first? If you can't prove the alibi, then you need a warrant. Also... Okay, fine. Sorry. Bye.
He seemed to have given up and scurried away. My husband and I let out a sigh at the same time. Thank you so much! I bowed my head deeply while he patted me on the shoulder.
I was actually about to leave. Talk about great timing. Thank you for always being nice to my kid, too.
My uncle winked at my husband and gave a thumbs up.
I had heard from my wife where you lived. I'm sorry for disturbing you. You really saved us.
My husband also bowed deeply. My uncle laughed and said it was fine.
If you're not guilty, you have nothing to hide. If someone tries to blame you for something again, you can come to me.
My uncle's kind words struck deeply.
All right, I gotta go somewhere. See you later.
We bowed deeply at my uncle walking away.
Your uncle's pretty young, huh?
My husband mumbled after he was no longer visible. I mean, yeah, he's relatively close to me in age, but why?
Oh, nothing.
He looked a little upset and looked away. What, are you jealous of my cool uncle? He looked away again after I made him look at me. Relax, he's married and has 3 daughters. I was holding in my laughter before patting him on the back.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you?
Oh, come on, you're acting like a girl right now. I hugged my husband tightly. I grabbed his hand and we went home together. The next day, we were able to confirm our alibi from all parties involved, and it was confirmed that the woman was lying. Apparently, she had asked a friend to hit her in the head and called the police to file a false report. She was charged for making a false statement. Serves her right. She did this because my ex-husband had no intention of marrying her. She was also being pestered by my ex-husband's parents and basically just wanted someone to pay. According to the police, she had become furious after hearing I was remarried and flipped the desk when she was being questioned. I had some bad memories, but I felt well supported by those around me, and maybe it was a good experience. However, there was one thing that changed after this.
You're not going to go see him, right? Right?
Oh, come on, he's a busy man. He barely even shows up to family gatherings.
Okay, I trust you.
Trust me. He had started thinking more and more about my uncle, but I was not like my unfaithful ex.
Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye!